Good evening and welcome to another edition of Rebelwatch. I'm your host Cameron Hass, and alongside me is NewsWatch sports anchor Jason Kern and sports reporter Graham Farrell. We have a lot of topics to cover tonight. The World Series matchup is officially set. The Michigan football program is in some hot water right now. But starting things off with the Ole Miss football team, they got a huge win on the road against Auburn this past weekend, especially with the team that is very tricky in the past.
We finally won a game at Auburn. It feels like it just never happened, so thank goodness for that. Lane came prepared. He showed that we can win in those kind of environments. No matter how good or bad Auburn is, they're always going to find a way to win at home against us. They had such a good game plan. It was close, went back and forth at the beginning, and then we kind of pulled away. Should have won by like 3 touchdowns. Didn't turn over, but they ended up getting the ball right back, and we only won by 7. But when you look at the game, we were clicking on all cylinders. Dart looked great. The run game was good. Trey Harris only had 4 catches, but had 102 yards total. Franklin had a touchdown. Prescorn had a couple big catches. We were just clicking on all cylinders, and it just looks like a good, fundamentally sound football team. And when you look at the road ahead, Vandy's not going to be the toughest challenge, but Georgia and A&M, those are 2 good teams. So it's honestly a step in the right direction. I'm kind of happy of just how things have just worked out, and we just looked like a good football team. The defense looked great also. So I was kind of just excited to see that.
Yeah, the only thing that I would say that wasn't really clicking was our third down conversions. But just a shout out to the Ole Miss defense. Without that, obviously that last drive, they only gave up 14 points and 275 total yards, which is incredible. And this is the first time since 2009 that the Rebels in back-to-back conference games have led up under 300 yards. And I'd say from the offensive side, you could see like it was a neck-and-neck game. But the thing that made us stand out was having Jackson Dart at quarterback. The way that he was able to like get out of the pressure and use his athletic ability, it really made the difference with his running and everything. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. It was a great job by him. And just another shout-out to the defense. They did amazing, and they did a great job.
Yeah, I thought the defense did great too, especially. I think they helped the offense settle in more. And I thought Judkins stood out as well.
100%.
I thought, especially playing in front of his home crowd, I think it gave him some more motivation maybe. But Vanderbilt is a team that, you know, the record really isn't there, but, you know, you don't want to get too confident going in. You always got to be on your toes still. But what should they prepare, and what should they?
When you look at the all-time Ole Miss versus Vanderbilt record, we're 40-39. We only have 1 more win than they do in this entire history, which is kind of crazy because when you look at the teams, Vandy is always on the bottom, and Ole Miss is on the rise, I would say, a little bit. They were up last year against us. The year before, they played us close with Matt Corral when we should have blew them out of the water. But when you look at their schedule, Vandy, Georgia beat them by 17, Mizzou beat them by 17. They're not getting blown out like Vandy usually does. They're a good team. They were favored by 24 points. But when you look at how Vandy's played, that seems like a lot of points. So I guess they're putting some respect on Ole Miss after having a big win. But Vanderbilt should be a win and be absolutely demoralizing if just, God forbid, something went wrong Saturday. But I wouldn't say a cakewalk, but I just expect from all the things clicking last week just to carry over. And I don't want them to think about A&M yet. Just focus on this game, get a big win, go 7-1, and let's go from there.
I totally agree. I think this is a week for them to, you know, not worry about the opponent, but worry about things that they need to fix. And I think practice is a great time. Ideally, I would like this to be, you know, by halftime, at least a 3-touchdown lead, because I think this would be huge if we were able to get some guys' helmets off, like such as Dart, Perkins, and Quinshon and Trey Harris, just to, you know, give them some more rest. You know, a whole half of football, it's taking a lot of hits, and with this Vanderbilt game, it's gonna be the opposite of Auburn. They're gonna try to, you know, spread the ball around when it comes to getting behind our DBs and finding the secondary holes. And that's one thing they can do. They have good receivers. Their quarterback, they're kind of running 2 quarterbacks right now with A.J. Flynn and Ken Siles. So we're gonna have to see what happens. But I do believe that this defense is firing on all cylinders, and they'll be able to handle the problem, and our offense will roll.
One thing I really want to look at is the offensive line. Dart was sacked 4 times, which in the past, he wasn't really sacked that many times in the games prior. But in a game like that, 4 sacks, you can't really, like against Georgia, if Auburn's getting 4 sacks, God forbid, or who knows, what Georgia's going to do. They're going to maybe have 10 sacks. So I just want to see the offensive line just better chemistry this weekend. And, I honestly also wouldn't start Watkins. I just let him heal, give him a week. We have enough weapons.
Yeah.
I just give him a break. But, yeah, couldn't agree more. I want to see a little Spencer Sanders in the fourth quarter. I would love that.
And when it comes to the offensive line, one thing that we need to fix is we're the second most penalized team in the SEC. And when it comes to later in the conference games, we got to fix that up so we don't hurt ourselves.
Too many holding calls.
Yeah, for sure. But hopefully we keep the momentum rolling and get an easy win this weekend. But we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about other news going on in college football.
It's that time of the year again, fellas. When the mornings are hot, the afternoons are hotter, and football is on its way back. Now, games is won by the battles fought in August. Everyone that's not revered as an Ole Miss legend has been in your shoes before, trying to survive that Mississippi heat, competing for a spot, and knowing the sacrifice that it takes to make it in this league. You go into this money collection of men from 100 different places, and if you work, you emerge from it as one team with one goal and one heartbeat. The SEC awaits you. And if they don't know who you are now, they will soon.
Where are we gonna go?
Someplace warm. A place where the beer flows like wine. Where beautiful women instinctively flock like the salmon of Capistrano. I'm talking about a little place called
Oxford, Mississippi.
To see it is to believe it. You hear about it, but you just have to see the party.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Grove. The sound and fury are here. Did he got a toe down?
Pageantry, the pride, the pomp is unmatched and unrivaled.
This stadium has come unhinged.
This is what college football is all about.
Oh, as he gets walloped.
No coach is having more fun than Lane Kiffin.
This is the place to be in college football right now.
Welcome back. We're now headed into week 9 of the college football season. And the hyped up matchup last week was Penn State and Ohio State, but it really didn't live up to the hype. Ohio State ended up winning pretty convincingly. Their defense looked really strong. But what did you think about the matchup?
It was a typical Big Ten battle, just defensive, battle of field possession. But Penn State, you can't play a worse game on offense. 1 of 16 on third down and 2 of 19 when it comes to converting on third and fourth down. You got to hand it to the Ohio State defense. JT Tuimalu, that guy just went off. He always seems to go off against Penn State. But when it comes to Ryan Day, they're not the same team, I guess, as typical as old Ohio State. They're not going to be putting up 45 points with this offense. And you can kind of see they're getting back to old school football, running the ball and just hammering out on defense. And other teams that you see also getting back to this is also Alabama. It's just with this, it's typical Big Ten football. And I think Penn State's not out of it, but it was definitely a heartbreaking loss. And Ohio State just has a lot to look forward to. They got Michigan at the end of the year.
And speaking of Penn State, in the coming up, they still have to play home against Michigan. They could very easily ruin Michigan's season, so I wouldn't count. Penn State's pretty much done, I would say. But when you talk about that Penn State offense, Drew Aller was 18 for 42. I mean, those are just, if you want to win and make it to the playoffs, 18 for 42 is not going to cut it. But again, yeah, it was a boring game, but if you're a defensive guy, this was, you love these kind of games. And not even to shine light against Colin McCord, but Marvin Harrison was open every single play. And even Ryan Day at halftime was like, the guys are open, just find them. Because they were open, it was just McCord's passes were just not, they were terrible.
Marvin Harrison, yeah, he showed why he's going to be the first-round pick, because those two DBs, that was the thing going in, was to see how they were going to do against Marvin Harrison, and he showed why he's going to be the number one receiver off the board.
He makes it look easy. He makes it look too easy.
Yeah, for sure. And then another matchup that was an interesting one was Alabama and Tennessee. Tennessee had the lead early, but Alabama, I thought, came back during the half. They dominated. And I don't know. I feel like they look more playoff material in this game, especially in the second half. But what did y'all think about it?
Bama's second half team. They did it against us. They did it against Tennessee. Crazy stat that I saw was Josh Heupel, first time at Tennessee with the lead at half and losing. That was crazy. Up 20-7 at the half. All the momentum on your side, and you get shut out 27-0 in the second half. Like I said in last week's show, I think Tennessee is a bunch of frauds, and they kind of proved it. Yeah, they had a good first half, but I mean, Nick Saban down at half. How many times is he down at half, and it's like, oh yeah, game's over? He will always be in a game. He shows it time and time again. And Milroe looked good. The Bama defense in the second half looked phenomenal, and that's what I got to get credit to. But coming up, LSU versus Alabama is going to be so much fun. But I just think I knew Joe Milton was not the guy, but in terms of Ole Miss football, man, we really needed Tennessee to just hold on there.
Yeah.
You really needed it.
With that, yeah, you talked about just Alabama being a second half team. In the third quarter alone this season, they're outscoring their opponent 79-24. And that's just, what are you going to do about that? That's just a great way. They make adjustments. They find the ways. They're a good football team. They know they're disciplined. They know how to keep their composure and how to stay calm within the moment. And Bryant Denny is just hard enough as it is to just go in there and win. And with that, LSU, we need you, Jaden Daniels. We need another performance like last year. So I'm hoping that they get it done.
Yeah. And then moving on to some other big news in college football, Michigan is in some hot water right now. They're being accused of cheating, breaking some rules. What even is this dude's name? Connors how do you say it? Stallions? Yeah. We don't know who he is. He's supposedly on the lower totem pole, the coaching staff, only getting paid $50,000, but he's been pictured next to Jim Harbaugh and the offensive coordinator in all these games, so he's obviously important. But what do y'all think about this drama?
I think this whole thing's so stupid. I think it's so stupid. They're saying they're stealing signs from the sideline, that all 100,000 people can look at the Michigan sideline and see those guys in the different colors dancing in front of those curtains. It's so obvious. I mean, it's getting out of hand how Michigan's being flamed. I'm sure every program looks at the signs. Everyone, it's just part of football. High school does it. College does it. NFL does it. Everyone is doing it, and it's open to the public. It's not like that's not like that guy went into the press box and was sitting there listening to the other team call plays. He's sitting in the stands, visually looking at them doing their signals. I think this whole thing's just pretty stupid.
See, I'm gonna have to disagree. And I did some deep digging today on Twitter, because there's a lot of stuff within the social media right now that's pixie dust. You don't know what you can truly believe about this, but there are some guys out there, such as Peter Thamel, one of the best ESPN college insiders for college football. So apparently this guy, he bought at least 30, bought tickets to more than 30 games at 11 different Big Ten schools. And this isn't even the Big Ten is not wanting to have the NCAA deal with this. They're wanting to take this matter into their own hands. And multiple representatives from other Big Ten schools are deciding to come in, and they want to help out with this process. And it also showed that about 2 years ago, he bought 7 tickets to the highest 7 rankings for the college football playoff rankings once they came out. It was Alabama, Oregon, Clemson, all these tickets, and bought them. It's just the difference is everyone still signs. he was recording them. There's a difference when you're sitting there and you have.
Yeah, but everyone can record.
But there is evidence.
You can record.
There's evidence of them just.
There's
Yeah.
30
in the
million
spot.
cameras in every stadium.
Yeah.
I see the point you're trying to make, but I just feel like if he like wasn't personally in the other team's business, that's when I understand. But everyone has a right to a phone. Everyone has a right to the cameras if you're a part of media. I think it's just a part of football. Stealing signs is a thing. If you don't want people to steal your signs, call through the headset. I don't know. I saw some teams in the past used to. My high school team, the quarterback would run to the coach, get a play from the thing, run back every single play. If you're so uptight about it, then I feel like stop doing your signs on the sideline. It's just a part of football. And the thing that Michigan's being called, I understand the point I'm trying to make, but the NCAA has so much more to worry about than this one little scandal.
That's very
There's
true.
so much going on, and stealing signs, I think it's just.
This is one of the most storied programs in college football, though. If they go on like postseason ban to where they do like end up getting penalized by the NCAA, how's that going to look for like the Big Ten adding all these schools? Like, what? Like they condone this? Like how do you let this happen?
Yeah.
Do you think if Ole Miss
That is
did it, they would be?
interesting.
You think if Ole Miss did it, they'd be getting flamed right now, or be like, oh?
I don't know.
Well, that's the thing.
But it's interesting now that like a bunch of Big Ten coaches are like speaking out, kind of like in their defense. Like Nebraska head coach Matt
Yeah.
Rule came out and said, "Oh, we all do it," and then Dion said, it doesn't matter if they're looking at it. Like you still have to stop it at the end of the day. So
True.
I don't know. We'll
You're
see.
good.
But we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Ole Miss volleyball and soccer team and how they're going to close out their seasons.
Ole Miss 18th NCAA tournament appearance.
This is fun, folks.
As Baker's peeling it, little heat check.
Snug Collins for three. Rita!
Said, I love Madison Scott.
Ole Miss Rebels are having a lot of fun, and you can see why.
My passion is journalism. Here at the University of Mississippi, we produce a nightly half-hour newscast, broadcasting regionally on cable and globally on the World Wide Web. It's the kind of experience that is preparing me to walk into any news station in the country with the skills and abilities I need to succeed. So it's not just preparing me for the real world, it is the real world.
Do you love sports? Then you should know about STEM. Because maximizing nutrition, analyzing peak muscle performance, calculating the perfect shot, and more are all made possible by science, technology, engineering, and math. In fact, there are more careers than ever in sports science. So if you have a passion for sports, then think about getting involved in STEM and improve everyone's game on and off the field. Get inspired at shecanstem.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Back to Rebelwatch, the volleyball and soccer team of Ole Miss are heading towards more so the end of their seasons. Soccer last week faced both Alabama and Arkansas, and they ended up both losing those games. But what do you think they should do for the rest of their season? Are there any key things that you think could help them?
No, just as of right now, you got to just try to attack because when it comes to SEC standings, amount of goals scored, amount of goals let up. Obviously, goals scored goes a little bit further. But they have one game left. It's here against Kentucky at home. But it's going to be the last game of the season as of right now. But on Thursday, there's a lot that can happen. All the teams in the SEC are playing. Right now, the Rebs have 8 points. They're currently in 13th. So for them to
make that 10 spot.
Yeah, for them to make the 10th spot in the SEC tournament, they need Florida to lose against South Carolina. South Carolina's ranked, so hopefully we get that as a dub. Tennessee to lose to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt was very good last year, have some returning players. Hopefully they can get that done for us. The hardest game is going to be LSU to lose against Texas A&M. LSU is about 2 spots ahead of us, but A&M, has the home field advantage. So, you know what? If the team doesn't make it to the SEC tournament, it's nothing to be frowned upon. This is Molly Rouse's, first year as head coach. She's starting to set up her culture. She's starting to put her feet into the ground. She's going to get this program where it needs to be next year.
A lot of positives to look at. They had a great home stretch. I mean, they only lost so far that one Alabama game last week. So, I mean, a lot to look forward to and, like, an exciting future for sure. But with the volleyball team, what's to come? What should they – anything, like, you think that could help them out?
So at this point in the season, they've lost 7 straight.
Yes.
And like I said last week, it's just so tough to just keep losing and then trying to go back out the next week and lose again. It's just so deflating when you look at it from afar. So the next 3 games are all at home: Florida, Tennessee, Arkansas. Those are all ranked teams, and it's like Ole Miss volleyball is 5-2 at home. That's
it's
where
like they can't catch a break.
It's where they thrive, and even the next 3 home games, it's like, oh, they're good at home. Oh man, we're facing like 3 of the best teams in the nation. It stinks, and
especially coming off. I think it's 3 matches were 5 sets, so it's
they've been in it. That's the thing. They've been in it, and I think that's what makes it more deflating. It's just like they know they can win, and they see it in.
And
their
they're there,
sights,
but
and it's just like every single time, and that's not to. And again, like I've said, first-year head coach, give her a break. But I want to see like Peyton Broch and Maggie Miller I want Maggie Miller to get a little more playing time. It's her senior year. The season's it's pretty much over, but they should just go out and play free will. Even all the seniors on the team, just go out there and play free and have some fun. Even ruin someone's season. I said last week, just go ruin someone's season. Tennessee, deflate them. Wow, we just lost to Ole Miss. That's going to take some – their positive energy is just going to kind of go away, especially when they have to go on the road to Oxford. Again, season isn't technically over. It's just the most unfortunate games coming up for this team.
Hey, it's like with the Auburn team last week. We're playing with nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose, and there's nothing worse than playing a team with nothing to lose. I cannot wait to see. Hopefully next Wednesday, this 8-13 is more like a 10-14. Hopefully.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully both teams are able to get some positive things to look forward to next season and, get some good energy. But we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about the MLB playoffs and the exciting World Series matchup that's to come.
The dynamic freshman is starting to make his impact.
With the shot clock down to 1.
That 3-ball drops for Jamin Brakefield.
Fagan from the corner with a triple. Burrell for 3, and that's a big response. 3-ball, yes. Miss shooting lights out of the pavilion.
Ed, give him one more. Wow.
Well, you can't teach that. Well, that should give Ole Miss a boost.
Creating a legacy takes time, takes dedication, spirit, and a greater vision. That vision starts here at the University of Mississippi. What will you be remembered by? Your character, your contributions, your friendship. Your legacy will define who we are now and who we are becoming for our state, our students, and our future. Ole Miss, build your legacy.
We are rebels. For more than 160 years, we've been accomplishing the impossible, from conducting the world's first lung transplant to helping prove Einstein was right, from preserving the past to saving the future. We are Mississippi's flagship university, a place where passion and learning unite, where friends become family, where small-town charm meets world-class innovation. We are the University of Mississippi. We are Ole Miss.
Rebelwatch. So the World Series matchup is officially set. Both the Rangers and the Diamondbacks were able to pull off huge wins in Game 7. But what did you think about both of those Game 7s? That was what you were looking for. You wanted the Game 7.
I was going to say, last week I was begging for good baseball. I was like, man, this has been so boring. I want something to talk about. And, man, do we have it. Oh, the Phillies 6-0 going into Game 6 at home. They were up 3-2. The impossible happened. The Diamondbacks stormed into Philly, stormed into the bank, and won 2 straight. I mean, how just amazing is that? For the Rangers going and the Diamondbacks going, all of America won. All of America won. No one wanted to see the Diamondbacks. Everyone hates Philly, so no one wanted to see them in it either. This is just when you look at the standings before the playoffs and you see which team you want, everyone's like, oh, I want the Rangers. Oh, I want the Diamondbacks. That would be such a fun matchup, and we have it. And it's just when you look at the Phillies, they have so many star players. You look at the Astros, so many star players. But looking at the Diamondbacks, any average person couldn't name you more than one player on that team. Many average person, probably a lot of people couldn't name you one player on that team. And that's what makes them so special. Corbin Carroll, rookie year. What a rookie year he's having. Made it to the All-Stars. And then in the biggest game of his career, 3 hits, 2 RBIs. And then Ketel Marte extends his hitting streak to 16 games. And a lot of people don't even know those people are. And that's what's just crazy. And I hope that this is just... And no one thought the Diamondbacks were going to do. Maybe make the playoffs.
No, I was
but
shocked.
No one thought, and it's just like I keep mentioning Ole Miss baseball, but it's all about getting hot at the right time. And like when you look at how hot both these teams really are, you just don't really know who's going to win it because they're just So that's why I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, it's just crazy because both of these teams 2 years ago they had 100 lost seasons. And just a shout out to their front office. They found the guys. Maybe the Rangers with a little bit more money, but the Diamondbacks, they found the guys. Mm-hmm. That's what you can do in baseball. And I want to ask you, how do we feel, Astros fan? What went wrong?
Oh, God. I mean, our pitching just failed us. I don't even think that team showed up, in Game 7. I'm still looking for them. They're still lost. But, I mean, it's disappointing. But, I mean, with that performance from the Rangers, all you can do is just, you can't be mad about it anymore, especially when you lose by that margin.
9-2 and then 11-4.
Well, oh my God, then the first inning, the Rangers just came off so hot. Garcia's insane. It's just what do you do? What do you do?
You can't stop hot bats, no matter who's pitching.
Exactly. So, happening. It's fine. It's fine. I'm sad that Dusty's leaving, but
you've had your winning, and it's great. 2 new teams. Yeah. 2 new teams. This is what everyone wants. People want to see new teams. No one wants to see the same.
Now I don't know who to root for now. Now I'm trying to figure that out. Maybe
Diamondbacks in 7.
I think the Rangers will win, but I hope the Diamondbacks. I want a good series.
I think it will be, and I got the Rangers in 6. I think their offense is just a whole nother level above the Diamondbacks, and I think the Diamondbacks. I don't know. I also just think the Rangers pitching is just better. Their bullpen is so good. But the Diamondbacks are so sneaky, so you never know. So that's why I'm really excited.
Yeah, I don't even think anybody expected the Diamondbacks to come through in the end there against the Phillies. So it should be a really exciting World Series matchup.
100%.
But that's all we have for tonight. Make sure to tune in next week for Rebelwatch, and make sure to follow us at Rebel_Watch for the latest sports updates. Thank you and good night.